Peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum. I want to briefly talk about the Apostle Paul, or formerly known as Saul of Tarsus. A brief history about Paul was that Paul began his so-called career as the killer to the followers of Jesus Christ. Yes, Paul was against Jesus Christ. Paul, in this sense, was the Antichrist. Practically, the followers of Jesus back then originally believed in the oneness of God. Back then, there was no Trinity. People who followed Jesus was a monotheist, oneness of God, which is contrary to the now believing Christians. The mainstream Christians are the Trinitarian. Paul was a Jew, of a Roman citizen. He was a small petite-built man. Okay, now let's begin the new journey of Saul, transforming into Paul, the Apostle. Historically, Paul was never an apostle of Jesus. Because, Paul was not even living during the time when Jesus was still on earth. Paul was not even one of the disciples of Jesus. Paul came after Jesus left the world. But, somehow Paul claimed to be an apostle of Jesus when he said in Romans 1 verse 1. Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of God. But this is what is interesting about his claim, as he mentioned in Romans 1 verse 2, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. Now, people, can you me, which prophets had prophesied about Paul? Do you know of any prophecy about Paul? Is it in Isaiah 29:12? Or in Deuteronomy 18:18? Or in Deuteronomy 18:20? Here are the verses, Isaiah 29:12, and the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee, and he saith, I am not learned. The problem with this verse is that Paul was an educated man. A learnt person. Now how about Deuteronomy 18:18, which says, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. But, Paul was only an apostle, not a prophet. This verse suited Muhammad more than Paul. Gabriel never visited Paul, but Paul claimed that Jesus spoke directly to him. The problem with this is that Jesus is not God to speak directly to Paul as God spoke to Moses directly. God did speak to Muhammad directly when Muhammad received the commandment of the 5 times daily prayer. In fact, Jesus did warned about seeing him here and there before his second coming. Jesus said, Believe it not. As mentioned in Matthew 24:5, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. As you know, Satan is capable of deceiving, even the elect. And also as mentioned in Matthew 24:23, Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. So, basically Jesus had give you the warning about false prophet or apostle who claimed to have seen Jesus, before his second coming. So, from here we can deduce that, Apostle Paul, was the false so-called prophet. According to Jesus Christ himself. So, as Paul was the false prophet but the New Testament contained half of his books. That translate that the teachings of Paul was false. Please be guided accordingly. Thank you.